Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm doing a review on the Xiaomi Sound Outdoor speaker. I had a request to review this and the Sound Pocket, which I'll be doing next from a friendly viewer. So thank you for that. It's always helpful to have requests. It's nice to know what people actually want to see rather than just kind of guessing. So that's really good. But yeah, we'll be going through this speaker, talking about the specs, talking about the sound, obviously, how I think about it in the time I've had it, and playing a sound test for you as well. Obviously, I'll put the specs up on the screen and I'll try to get a nice bit of B-roll or something to go in the middle of it all. But specs wise first, this thing only costs £35 straight off the Xiaomi website here in the UK, which is a crazy deal. You know, I mean, this looks like the Huawei Soundjoy, like very, very similar size, weight proportions, and I think that was about £90. Obviously the JBL Flip 6 and other speakers of that size are also around, I think that was even around 120. So 35 is very, very low. This is kind of similar to the Skull Candy Terrain range, but nicer build quality, dare I say, which isn't hard to beat, to be fair. But but yeah, this is a nice price to start off with here. We've really got nothing to complain with off the bat. So yeah, nice build. Weighs 597 grams, so it's really light. You know, it does feel that way. You've got volume, playback, pause, skipping buttons on the side, a power button, Bluetooth, TWS pairing button, and a single waterproof port with a USB-C, no aux in, unfortunately, or anything like that. It's got some feet on this side so that you can sit it like this, and obviously passive radiators at either end with a kind of slit in it here if you wanted to put a kind of string through it or something like that. But yeah, really simple design, but really nice, you know, minimalistic. It's kind of what you're getting in the box. You get this and a USB-C cable. That's quite literally it. Pretty much nothing else to speak of. So it's a very bare bones experience, but for this money, what would you expect? Specification wise, Xiaomi state this one to have a 30-watt output. It's got one 20-watt driver and one 10-watt driver working together. Frequency hertz, they say to be between 60 hertz and 20,000 hertz. So we will obviously be testing that. 2.5 hours to charge this thing from zero, and then 12 hours of playback time if you play it at 50% volume, which is more than adequate, I would say. Obviously, if you're going to play at 100% volume, you're going to see like half of that, maybe even less, like 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5, yeah, between 4 and 6 hours realistically. So obviously do bear that in mind. The volume makes a massive difference there, but not too bad. It's running Bluetooth 5.4, which is very much the newest version of Bluetooth at the time of releasing this video, which gives it around a 25-meter range, which is pretty adequate. IP67 waterproof resistance and dust resistance there, so nice rating. You know, you're not going to have any problems taking this anywhere really. Yeah, as I said, with the button on the back, it does support TWS stereo pairing. So if you wanted to buy 2 of these, which would still only set you back 70 quid, you'd then have a 60-watt stereo paired system, which you could take around with you and have like 12 hours of battery life. So very good value for money there, obviously, with that stereo pairing. It does have a built-in mic as well. I'm not exactly sure where it is, actually. I was trying to look, see if they had any information about it on the website, but sadly not. But yeah, probably somewhere in the front here, relatively standard. But yeah, can be used as a speakerphone for calls and stuff like that as well, which is always nice to have. That's pretty much as much specs as Xiaomi give us, if I'm honest. Never too much. That's, you know, it says all of that on the box as well. But realistically, what you're getting here is a box with a cable, a speaker, some pretty decent specs, and you know, good sound for a good price. But we'll let you judge that. I'll have it obviously facing the camera. We'll play royalty at 80% volume. We got decibel meter on the left and frequency range chart on the right.
taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty.
Okay, so sound test over. It's not perfect. You know, sometimes you get, like, if you get a JBL Flip 6, you kind of listen to it and you think, you know what, there's nothing really missing. It could be louder, it could be bassier, but for its size, it sounds really good. And this isn't quite as put together as that. The sound, it does a really good job feeling really full and feeling like it's coming from a speaker that's much bigger. It's kind of hard to describe without being in the room with it, but it feels really wide, and yeah, it feels like it's you know, it's not overly loud, but it feels powerful. The bass is good and strong and quite accurate, so no kind of problems there. But you can kind of hear the instrument in the background in that song. I hope it comes across, but it's slightly distorted, slightly scratchy almost. I've never really heard it sound like that on. I'm not sure I've really heard it sound like that on any speaker I've tested. It's kind of just really struggling to play that frequency. I imagine what they've done here is they've gone for a 10 watt speaker, which is basically a tweeter for the really high ends, and then a 20 watt for probably more like a woofer for the bass. It doesn't actually say which those drivers are, but it kind of feels like it's missing the little kind of grey area in the mid, or maybe this area here, kind of just halfway, you know, nearer the high end, but not quite the highs, where kind of like it could do with another mid-range driver to fill in the gaps there, because it did sound a bit distorted or a bit scratchy even. But I think if you were using this as an outdoor speaker that was carrying around in your hand or in your back or on your bag or on a bicycle or whatever, you would not hear that, you know, that I'm hearing that because I'm inside and I'm listening to it as a kind of home speaker, which isn't really the intended purpose for this. Obviously, it's called the Sound Outdoor. I think for £35, you know, the design, the spec sheet, the weight of it, the portability, and the sound as a whole, is for that money, like, it's absolutely brilliant. But I do think it's not, as the price reflects, you know, as you'd expect, but it's not perfect. I probably wouldn't like to listen to too much music to it indoors for too long. You know, you can kind of imagine it. Personally, I'm very picky. You know, if I've got a song that I really like, I almost don't want to ruin it by listening to it and wearing it out on a speaker that isn't perfect. So I probably wouldn't listen to anything on this for too long inside. But if you wanted something to just strap on you outside and go around and blast some tunes, then this is brilliant and fairly inexpensive. And yeah, I mean, this kind of Skull Candy Terrain is similar, but nowhere near as bass heavy as this. And kind of got a weird recycled look. It does look very cheap, whereas this doesn't look cheap. Someone could quite happily guess that this was £100 or more. You know, all the touch points are nice and solid. Like, if you can feel those kind of, obviously can't feel, but you can hear those surfaces. Everything looks very nice. You've got a designed by Xiaomi kind of watermark on the passive radiators. It's a nicely built speaker. It feels premium, and for the most part, it sounds really good. There are some frequency ranges where it does slightly struggle, but for the price you're paying and the package you're getting as a whole, I don't think that's enough to put me off. You know, if I wanted a little outdoor speaker, this would be on my list to recommend, and definitely one of the ones that I would grab from my collection to take with me, especially considering it's just shy of 600 grams, which is really, really light. So, you know, it's a plus from me. I like it. I think it does exactly what it was set out to do. Nothing more, but you know, that's fine. It does exactly what it was set out to do. and it does it well. So let me know what you think. If you've got any questions, pop them down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.